All right, guys. So, listen, everything I talk about is from experience, from things that I've heard from different people, from comments, from me going live, from just different experiences, from me training people in person and online for the past 10 years. So, this one is one that I see a lot. And let me see. Every time I post like a healthy day of eating or I tell people to avoid certain foods, people are always like, oh, it's okay to treat yourself sometimes. You can have cheat meals every week. You don't have to avoid processed foods. They say shit like that, right? Which they have a point. Like, you can have, well, you can't have cheat meals every week. I'm not gonna lie, that's dumb as fuck. But you can treat yourself sometimes. The problem is that that mentality is what's getting people to treat themselves all the time and then overdoing it. And now treats, unhealthy food is 90% of their nutrition. That mentality of, you know what, it's fine if I just do it this once. That once turns into twice, turns into three times, turns into 90% of your diet. And what you eat 90% of the time is going to dictate your results. And that happens all the time. Being too, soft on yourself, being too lenient on yourself is what that leads to. And I see that all the time. It is literally going to lead to that. If you're like, you know what, I can just have this one cheat meal. And then your friends are like, yeah, have this one cheat meal. Yeah, it's going to be fine. That cheat meal spirals you out of control. It's literally what would happen if an alcoholic, after 1 week of being sober, and you're like, just have one shot, bro. Stop being an asshole. Have one shot, dude. And then you have that one shot that triggers, that dopamine hit, that triggers that dependency, that triggers those feelings that you had, those memories that you had, and now you're drinking again consistently, and now you're not sober anymore. It's the same thing with nutrition because food is addictive. Now, in order to get to that point where you are having more balance, you have to first go without a lot of processed foods for a while. You have to get rid of those cravings, okay? Because foods create cravings. A lot of the sugary foods, the Reese's, the candy, all of those things create cravings. The dopamine hit they create in our brains, it literally creates a dependency and a certain feeling that we associate with it, which is why we overindulge in it, right? Because first of all, those foods aren't satiating, and the only reason we grab them is because they're addicting. So it's going to take you, in order to reach your results, you're going to have to spend time away from those foods. Do not surround yourself with those foods. Do not grab those foods, right? Start eating more whole foods, lean meats, fruits and vegetables. You'll feel better. You'll feel less dependent. And you'll realize that, wow, when I stop being around those foods, when I stop eating those foods, I don't need them as much. All right? So that's why I say, avoid certain foods, because those foods are creating, not only are they not satiating, but they're creating more cravings. Like, how many of you guys feel thirstier after drinking 1 cup of soda? Like, I've never seen someone drink 1 cup of soda and be like, you know what? I'm never drinking soda again. I feel great. I've never fucking seen that. And how many people can eat one Reese's cup and be like, you know what? That Reese's cup filled me up for the rest of the day. I feel great. I'm not eating anymore. Who the fuck can do that? Even kids can't do that because those foods are not satiating. And like I said, they're hyper palatable and they're meant to make you have more and more and more. Think about this, guys. If you were to get a packet of Skittles or a pack of candy and you ate one piece of candy and you were full, that company would go out of business because now that one bag of candy can last you the entire year, right? And you would probably be losing weight from eating only one piece of candy. Obviously, that's not the case. You end up eating a bag, then buying another bag, then buying another bag, then buying another bag. Trust me, I was there. I used to be freaking addicted to candy. I used to eat a lot of fucking gummies. Now I might eat them every once in a while, but definitely less than 5% of the time, to be honest. But I used to eat them literally, I promise you, at least 6 days a week. I used to be eating gummies, right? So I had a definite sugar addiction, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about, guys. When you surround yourself with those foods, you're gonna eat them more, obviously. All right, and you're not gonna think it's a sugar addiction. You'll be like, yeah, everyone eats this, everyone does this. No. You have a sugar addiction. It's causing you to gain that excess fat, that fat around your belly. That's what's going on. That's what's causing it. So eliminating these foods from your nutrition is really gonna help you not be so dependent on them. Okay, and like I said, when people tell you, hey, it's okay, just have this one meal. First of all, if you're making a change and you're really serious about making a change, you're definitely gonna turn them down because you know that indulging that one time could lead to them continually trying to kind of pressure you into eating those foods, but also it makes you realize that you might have to change your surroundings because if you're around people that indulge in whatever, drink whatever, eat unhealthy, and you're trying to create a healthy lifestyle, not only are you going to make them uncomfortable and lose them as friends potentially, but they're going to feel more pressure to pressure you to stay with them by pushing bad foods onto you. And if you're constantly surrounded by bad foods, eventually you're going to make a bad decision. At least I would if I was constantly pressured by bad food. You're human. You're human. You're not. No one's a robot. Nobody's perfect. Like, But in order to make progress, you have to eliminate those foods from your area. That's why the whole throwing all the, junk food out from your refrigerator, from your pantry is actually important, because when you're seeing those foods constantly, you're gonna think about it. If you see something, aren't you gonna think about it? Like, listen, if you got a girlfriend, right, and she has a fat ass, right, and she lives with you, and you see her ass all the time, you're gonna end up smashing her more than if she wasn't around you, obviously, just because you see it, so now you're thinking about it. All right, it's the same way with food. If every time you open the cupboard to grab the almonds, right, to grab the protein powder, and in order to grab those, you have to go around the Oreos, cookies, the Chips Ahoy. Eventually, when you have a moment of weakness, since you know it's there and you see it, so you think of it, you're eventually gonna have a moment of weakness and grab them. If you put Oreos in my cupboard 24/7, there is no way for a 2-week period, unless I'm being like monitored on the camera, or like someone's like holding me accountable in person. There's no way, if I buy that and I put it right there's no way I'm not gonna eat at least one. I'm gonna be way more likely to eat it if it's there. That's why people say your environment matters. Like, obviously, if you grew up in the hood and all you see is drug dealing and shootings and shit like that, and some of those people make money, make it out the hood, you're probably gonna gravitate towards that and be like, shit, I need to make it out of the hood because I suck at basketball and football. You know what I mean? You're just gonna be more likely to do that. That simple. Nothing crazy, but it is a bigger deal, guys. It's like your environment matters, yes. And with this leniency mindset of, oh, treat yourself sometimes, you're gonna end up buying those snacks, and then what's gonna happen when you eat those snacks? You're never fulfilled from eating the snacks, guys. That's what you don't realize. Like, when you indulge in, the junk foods, the ice cream, the candy, it's not satiating. There's no fiber, there's no nutrient value, there's no protein. It's not gonna fill you up, and it's just gonna make you want more. It's gonna make you have an insatiable hunger for those foods, and then you're gonna have to try again to lock back in, and it's gonna be even harder than the first time. All right, so that's all I'm saying. And that lenient mindset is why a lot of people are overweight these days anyways, because they're like, yeah, just treat yourself once. How many, like, once turns into twice, twice turns into 3 times, 3 times turns into your entire nutrition, right? Because if you DoorDash once, like, I know the first time everyone DoorDashed, like, you're like, oh shit, it's kind of convenient, and you kept DoorDashing, and then you're like, oh shit, my stomach's getting big, let me stop doing this shit, because the convenience of it, right? But anything that's fast doesn't last, and everything that's fast usually isn't good. Fast money, fast weight loss, all that stuff is not good, all right? So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. Just a little rant. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Oh, check out the pump, guys. I don't even have a pump.